Welcome to part 3 of our series of benchmarking tutorials. In this part, we're going to talk about how to enter your energy and water data into Energy Star Portfolio Manager. Here's what we'll be covering in this episode. We're going to start with some introductions for the presenters, talk about why we do benchmarking, give an overview of Detroit's Benchmarking Ordinance, talk about what is Energy Star and Portfolio Manager, and then dive in how to manually add energy data into Energy Star Portfolio Manager and how to manually add your water data into Energy Star Portfolio Manager. And lastly, we'll show you how to check your work. First of all, pause and remember if you watched parts 1 and 2 of this webinar series. If not, please go back and watch them as they cover crucial information to have before watching part 3. In part 1, we covered how to set up your Energy Star Portfolio Manager account, how to set up your building profiles and obtain your building IDs, and how to share your portfolio and data with the city. In part 2, we heard from different utility representatives about how to retrieve your energy and water data from utilities and the city, set up the automatic entry. If you've already watched the first 2 parts, enjoy the last episode. Here are today's speakers. First of all, hi, I'm Emma Herbanas, and I'm an associate on the Building Codes and Policy team at the Midwest Energy Efficiency Alliance.
I'm Zara Sablini. I'm with the City of Detroit's Office of Sustainability, and I'm the Senior Energy Analyst.
My name is Kendall Kuhneman, and I'm the Executive Director of the Detroit 2030 District.
A little bit more about these partner organizations. First is the Midwest Energy Efficiency Alliance, or MEA. We are one of the regional energy efficiency organizations across the country. We get to work in our Midwest region, that is 13 Midwest states plus Alaska. We work on promoting energy efficiency first, and we are a membership organization with over 170 members in 5 sectors. On our Building Codes and Policy team, we work to support different building codes and different policies like benchmarking across the Midwest, including in Detroit.
The City of Detroit's Office of Sustainability is headed by our director, Tafira Rushton. We have 4 divisions that we work under. The first is clean energy, then we have climate resilience. The third is energy efficiency. The benchmarking ordinance falls into that category. And the fourth is urban agriculture.
The Detroit 2030 District is a nonprofit that supports building owners and managers with reducing carbon emissions from their buildings and transportation. We work with commercial and multifamily buildings to help them with energy benchmarking. We have over 67 million square feet of building space enrolled in our program today. We are part of a national network, the 2030 Districts Network, which is a private-public partnership. There are over 24 districts across the US, and we have 4 in Michigan.
First, we're going to cover why benchmarking is important, which I'm sure you've heard in the first 2 episodes, but wanted to understate it again. This is important because you can't manage what you don't measure, and benchmarking allows you to measure your energy use in your building. Benchmarking has been shown in buildings to reduce energy, increase energy savings, and improve performance. You can see that over 4 years can lead to almost 7% of energy savings and increase your Energy Star score. Also, benchmarking can provide the building owner or operator with important information that can lead to smarter and more cost-saving investments. Additionally, it can help improve your property value by understanding the energy efficiency of your building. Lots of cities across the Midwest are already doing benchmarking or building performance standards. We can see here that lots of cities are showing they value efficiency in their buildings and think it's important for their building owners and operators to track their energy use.
Buildings required to report include commercial, multifamily, and industrial buildings. All buildings over 25,000 square feet are required to report. Buildings over 100,000 square feet had their first due date, which was October 1st of 2024, and that applied to building data from the 2023 calendar year. Buildings over 25,000 square feet are required to report on June 1st of 2025. That applies to building data from the 2024 calendar year. The City of Detroit published the Detroit Climate Strategy in November of 2023. This document addresses climate change in Detroit using 4 strategies. The first, transitioning to clean energy. The second, increasing sustainable mobility. The third, accelerating energy efficiency and reducing waste. And the fourth is prioritizing vulnerable residents and increasing resilience. The purpose of this ordinance is to help the city reach its greenhouse gas reduction goals. Buildings are the largest portion of greenhouse gas emissions in Detroit. They account for over 62% of all greenhouse gas emissions, according to a 2018 study. Benchmarking enables us to manage and reduce energy and water usage, thus allowing us to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. You can reach out for benchmarking help to us in 3 ways. The first is to fill out our benchmarking help desk document. The second is to send an email to benchmarking@detroitmi.gov. And the third is to book virtual office hours with us using the link in the description.
Now that you know the importance of benchmarking, let's get into what is Energy Star or Energy Star Portfolio Manager. Energy Star overall is a program that was created by the EPA in the 90s to provide resources and tools for businesses and individuals to improve their energy use. You might be familiar with that blue seal or have seen it on some of your appliances in your home. A lot of utilities, state and local government, and nonprofits use different Energy Star tools or resources in their efficiency programs. One of these tools is Energy Star Portfolio Manager. This is a free online tool from the EPA that helps building managers assess their energy, water, and waste or materials consumption, have this data readily available and track those changes over time, and also gain an Energy Star score. Some reasons to use Energy Star Portfolio Manager, or that the city requires its use in the ordinance, is because it's really helpful in measuring that energy, water, and waste performance over time. It allows you to set different improvement goals to reduce your usage after analyzing that data. You can also share and report your performance to others and certify your data. So in this episode, we'll be getting into how to manually enter your data into Energy Star Portfolio Manager. So to get to this screen that you're going to see here, you're going to log in to your Energy Star Portfolio Manager account that you set up after that first episode. Once you see your home screen, you're going to click into the building that you want to add meter information for. Once you're in the building, you'll see this kind of screen with these different tabs up at the top. We're going to start in that Energy tab in the middle. You're going to open that tab and you'll see on the right side that blue Add a Meter button. You're going to click into that. It's going to bring you to this page. Here, you're going to select the kind of energy you want to track. So you can select electric, natural gas. So once you have that, you're going to create those meters. And for your meter name, you can do something that you will remember which meter it is. You could do that based on location, other identifying numbers. And then you're going to want to check the bill for the unit type. So if you can see this column in here that requests units, this is likely kilowatt hours or therms for this. You're going to want to know the date the meter became active, and this is going to be that start date of the first bill that you will enter. Now we're clicked into one of them. So we're going to start with that start date and end date. And a really important thing to remember is that the start date and end date can only overlap by 1 day, meaning that it can start and end, or one bill can end and the next bill can start on the same day, but it will pop up with an error if they overlap any more than that, because at that point you will be double counting your energy usage. Additionally, another common area is that you don't have a full year of data. So you're gonna need every day or that whole year of data to enter correctly. Like it says here, some of those common errors are your data is missing, or it's misaligned or double counted. So if you want to go in to add another year of data, you can add another entry to manually add those entries, or if you want to upload the data in bulk and have that in a spreadsheet, you can choose this option down below, upload data in bulk. Choose your file and upload there. Okay, now we're back on in your building page. You're going to select the meters that you want to include in the calculation for your building. So you have to make sure that all active meters for that building are checked so that it knows to calculate it into the metrics and scores. And then once you have that, you're going to see these options down below and select these meters account for the total energy consumption for this building. And then go ahead and click Apply Selections to save your work. Okay. Now, once again, we're on that building page, and now that we have the energy, you're going to add the water meter information manually if you're doing it manually. Once again, you're going to want to go over and add a meter to create a new meter. Now you're going to select what type of water is billed and how many meters for each option. You can see that below here. For most cases, you will only need to select indoor and then just set up 1 meter, and then you can go ahead and click Get Started. Okay, now we're back to selecting the meters. Typically, you're going to use electric and natural gas, and you need to make sure that the date meter became active once again matches that start date of your first bill that you are entering. Then you're going to select the appropriate units according to your water bill. Usually this will be in thousands of gallons. Once you have these meters selected, they're feeding into your overall building data. You're going to go back to that summary tab, which we're still within that My Portfolio within the building. Go to the summary tab all the way on the left. And if you go down, you can see this data quality checker. You're going to go to check for possible errors and then select the year ending as the last date of the bills entered. This can only check for data 1 year at a time. So select that year ending and then click Run the checker. If you have any issues with the data you have manually entered, it will pop up with different alerts for you. Some common errors that you might see are that temporary or default values that Energy Star Portfolio Manager has put in or let you keep in remain in there and are not correct. If the gross floor area does not add up for your building, if you have not a whole year of data or other gaps in your data, or if you do not select those water or waste meters. The good thing about Energy Star Portfolio Manager is when any of these errors pop up, they will give you a pretty lengthy explanation of what might have caused it, or how to fix it, or how to look more in depth for it. Energy Star Portfolio Manager also has a really good glossary of terms. So if something pops up, and it will usually have a red exclamation point or some other kind of obvious sign that there's an error with your data, and it gives you a term you're not familiar with, you can go to the glossary and look up what might be causing that problem. Your final checklist for benchmarking. Going all the way back to that first episode, we created the Energy Star Portfolio Manager account for your building or buildings. You added that general property detail. You might have added some secondary use details in addition to the primary use. You went in and added your Detroit building ID, which is provided by the city. Then you had to go in and add that contact Detroit Sustainability and share your property data so that they know you're in compliance with the ordinance. After that, or in combination with that, you're going to go in and put your 1 year of electric and gas data. And for this, it is required to be all of 2024. You're also going to go in and add that water data. Then you can run the data quality checker to replace some of those temporary values or find any other issues that have arisen. Go ahead, read through those and fix anything that needs to be fixed. And then congratulations, because you will have benchmarked your property.
This video is part 3 of a series of videos on benchmarking compliance. If you need to start from the beginning, go ahead and go click episode 1 and follow along. By the time you finish all of these videos and you followed along, you should be in compliance with the ordinance.
One-on-one help is available to comply with the ordinance, and there are 3 different ways. The City of Detroit's Office of Sustainability offers a free 30-minute consultation, and you can book that at the link that's shown on this slide. The Detroit 2030 District also provides free one-on-one technical assistance, and that's to targeted buildings through a grant. Those buildings include nonprofits, houses of worship, child care centers, and affordable multifamily buildings. Lastly, the Detroit 2030 District also offers an optional paid premium membership to all other buildings who need support in complying with the ordinance, and the cost for that is $500 per building. The Detroit Energy Challenge is a fun annual competition in partnership with the City of Detroit, the Detroit 2030 District, and the Michigan Battle of the Buildings. Any commercial, industrial, and multifamily building in Detroit can participate, but you must have your energy data submitted and entered into Energy Star Portfolio Manager by March 5th. This competition is an extension of the statewide competition called Michigan Battle of the Buildings. It awards Detroit's biggest losers for energy efficiency improvements done at their facilities. There's no cost to participate.
If you're left with questions or other concerns, maybe you had some data pop-ups through your quality checker come up, or you just need more assistance, we do have some benchmarking data jams that will be coming up in mid to late April or early May before that reporting deadline. These are in-person workshops, which some of the presenters or other assistants will be provided. Come around to sit with you, help you enter your data into your portfolio manager account or set it up, figure out how to share your portfolios with the city. All you have to do for this is bring your laptop, your building characteristic info, and 1 year of utility and water data. We'll ensure that you've watched these preparatory workshop webinars beforehand, but after that, please join us if you have more questions. You'll come with just all that, and we'll help you leave in compliance with the ordinance ahead of that reporting deadline. Again, if you have other questions or want to learn more about Portfolio Manager, here are some links that will be available to you in the description below. And lastly, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to any of the people listed here at any time.